What's going on, guys? My name is Palpatine Bricks, and today we're going to be looking at the 9 different LEGO Star Wars Technic models that LEGO Star Wars has released from 1999 all the way to 2002 when they retired and they never made them again. But now LEGO Star Wars has actually made a return to some of these models in built figures instead of these Technic figures, such as the C-3PO and a lot of other models. Let's take a look at them year by year. There's 9 different models, as I said, one starting in 1999, 2 going in 2000s, and then going 2 in 2001 and 4 in 2002. So it did gradually increase, but then it just suddenly stopped. Let's take a look at why, how many pieces, what they all look like, and which one I think is my favorite. Now, starting us off in 1999, which is pretty cool. This is probably my best viewed box. It does look the best out of all my boxes, probably. It is a droid, so a battle droid, a standard battle droid in 1999. It was the first Technic minifigure ever made, 4 sets from episode 1. So it looks really cool. It's the set number 8001. It is 9+, which is pretty cool. It does look a little bit simple. It's very smooth looking. It does look very nice, and you can actually see the different stances you can do, from a standing position to a jumping position to being actually in a little cube like in the movies. You can also touch it at the back and also have a commander or a security. You can change them up, which is pretty cool, and also make it into an ATSD, which is something different you don't see in sets nowadays. So it's pretty cool to see in 1999 them doing something different. Let's take a look at 2000s. Now, in the year 2000s, they have done something different. They've experimented and they've added 2 this year. So it's pretty cool to see that they finally added another 2 different Technic sets. They're very weird. They're not typical characters that everyone would think that they would actually release. They're a bit different. We've got a Destroyer droid from the year 2000s. It's the set number 8002. It's a Destroyer droid from episode 1. It doesn't look too bad. I actually like this set a lot. So it is covered in this wrapping just for its safety. It looks really cool. I do love this set. It's probably one of my favorites. Sorry for all the pieces running around. At the back, it shows you can actually make an AT-AP. You can show you the scene from episode 1 shooting Qui-Gon Jinn and Anakin, and then also it from the side, which is pretty cool to see. It is a very cool model. Now, the second one is the Pit Droid from episode 1, the one that was fixing Anakin's pod racer, which is pretty cool to see. It's nothing too crazy. It's the set number 8000. This is probably my worst box that I have. And the back shows you can actually change it into these cool things and actually make it crouch. These sets were actually pretty cool with the little features of it being able to spin or crouch or even go into its safety position like the battle droid. Let's take a look at the next year, which is a little bit more interesting. Now, the year 2001 was a bit different. They released 2 different Technic sets in this year, one being a Stormtrooper. Now, that's the set number 8008. This Stormtrooper looks so shabby, but you can see that it used to cost only $15, and now you would probably have to fetch this for around $200 sealed if you do want to buy this in this type of condition. It is 361 pieces. It is very ugly looking. I do not like this one at all. And the back of the model shows it actually shooting C-3PO, which we'll be taking a look at in a second. And then also a little bit of a scene of the Stormtroopers, as well as it changing into some kind of ship, which is pretty cool to see. The year 2001 wasn't that crazy, but we've got Stormtrooper. Now, moving on to the C-3PO that we got in the same year. We've got the set number 8007 now, instead of the 8 at the end, and it's a shabby looking C-3PO. It doesn't really look like a C-3PO at all. It doesn't resemble it that much. It's supposed to be all full gold, but it does look like a little bit like a C-3PO in the end, and it has 339 pieces, so it has a little bit less than that Stormtrooper that we just had a look at. Now, in the back, it shows you a different spinny about it getting shot, so that actually has a feature of it getting killed and going into pieces, which is pretty cool to see. And you can actually change it into a spaceship, which is very different. We know that LEGO Star Wars has experimenting and doing a lot of those little builds at the back of these models in these years. Now, in the year 2002, the last year of these models, we have 4 different sets that got revealed and released by LEGO Star Wars. Now, we're going to go from the smallest to the biggest. Starting off with the smallest is the R2-D2. Now, this looks like a piece of crap. It doesn't even have any sort of resemblance for an R2-D2 whatsoever. It does have the blue and white. That's about it. It's the set number 8009. This is probably the ugliest and the most stupid one I've seen, but it goes with the C-3PO from the year below. And then you can actually spin the head, move those things around, and actually move that wheel. It's pretty cool, the actual accessories to it, but the actual build itself would probably be very boring, and it's the ugliest display set. You wouldn't want to display this set. Now, going into the second one, this is a little bit of a cool one, probably one of my favorites as well. This is a Super Battle Droid. So now in 1999, we got a Battle Droid. Now in 2002, we got introduced to a Super Battle Droid. Now, this is signed by James Fredrickson, which is the actual producer and maker of this model from 1999 LEGO Star Wars all the way up to now, which is pretty cool that it's actually signed. It is set number 8012, and it has a very cool orangey background, which is pretty cool to see. And the back of the model actually shows that you can move his arms around and shoot those little things, and it shows you a little bit of a picture of the actual Super Battle Droid and some of the sets from that year in 2002. Now, moving on to probably my number 1 favorite one that's ever been released, it's the Jango Fett. Now, this is probably the coolest one so far. We've got the purple legs, the blue helmet, all of the things going together. Set number 8011. It's a very cool set in 2002, and it also has his slave one there in the background, and it also shows the little features above about the actual model and also some of the sets that came out in that year as well. So that's pretty cool to see about this Jango Fett. Now, finally, the biggest and the last Technic set that was ever released by LEGO Star Wars is the Darth Vader. Now, Darth Vader is a very iconic figure in all of Star Wars. Even non-Star Wars fans know who Darth Vader is, so they had to release a Darth Vader. Now, this has a very cool specific mold and cape just for this set. So the cape and the head would cost a lot of money for you to get if you bought this used. Fortunately for me, I do have this set sealed, so I don't have to worry about that. This was 400 pieces, the biggest box out of them all, and it's probably the coolest as well. I do love this set, and it's very cool to see him standing next to the Stormtrooper. Now, thank you so much for enjoying my video and having a look at all the Technic sets from 1999 all the way to 2002. And make sure, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these Technic models, if they should have stayed or they shouldn't have stayed. I don't think they should have stayed. I think they did a lot of bad things about this series itself, but it was a cool nostalgic experience to be able to purchase these sets and see what they look like. Thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe to my video.